All right, and welcome everybody to episode 2 of House of Sky, Shadow City Mysteries House of Sky, our actual play of the Shadow City Mysteries, the role playing game set in the Shadow City Mysteries universe. I'm Christopher Mifsud. I'm the CEO and creative director of Play On Word Studios, but more importantly, for this session, I am the game master. So before we dive into today's session, let's go around and meet the players. So this is a different layout, so it's not even a clock. So we're just going to start with Mandy. Mandy, who are you?
Hi, I'm Andy, and I'm playing Raven, an infiltrator from the East End.
Awesome. And Perrin or Winston.
I'm Winston. I'm Parent Kastai, and I'm just a young priest who's trying to do right by the gods.
All right. Matthew Bell, Frank.
Hey, I'm Matthew Bell. I'm Faronk Turn, face and fresh out of law school, trying to make his way in this world.
Awesome. Ariel Regiren.
Hi, I'm Ariel Caston. I'm playing Reggie Wren. She's an infiltrator with the Brass Consortium. So she plays music by day and she does other more shifty stuff at night.
Excellent. And Matt Walsh, Ignatus.
Hi, I'm Matt Walsh. I'm playing Ignatus Iveson. He is a savant. He is half genius and half liability.
Excellent. And some more credits for folks that are off screen helping us. We have Stephen Cheney as a behind the scenes GM. We have Brandon Stoddard also as a behind the scenes game designer and writer. Rabbit Stoddard, who helps us with our tarot card design, which you'll see at some point, probably maybe even this episode. And as far as our amazing art goes, we have Adam Schupert, who does all of our character designs. Luana Zara is doing the tarot and faction designs, and Flora of the Wanderer's Tome, who does all of our UI and UX graphics. So bring us to kind of a little catch up. When last we left our intrepid new family, they were finishing up with a deal with the Rat King on the behest of their patron Esten Skye, their newly found for some grandfather, or in other cases boss, or just family services in the case of Perrin Kastai. They have a number of deliveries they need to make and business transactions to conclude. But before they're able to move on to the next place that we'd like to go, Quinn, one of the family members, is pulled away by the Court of Rats for some matters that need to be taken care of that were forgotten in the last session. So now the remaining family members are gathered near a truck with a large man, fully prostheticized, with an iron jaw, metal jaw, not necessarily iron. He actually has no iron or brass prosthetics. They seem to be of nondescript style, with a number of packages to be handed out depending on where the players would like to go next. So, to the players.
So I know we need to deliver to the Brass Consortium to Madame Rose, but does she normally have shows during the day, or do we got to wait till night to do that?
They're always practicing, and yeah.
Okay.
She runs a business there. They have other business that goes on there.
Right. We can go there. I know that I'm 95% certain I can get us in there if you guys want to do that next.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Hans hands you another box with presumably with something inside. So
I shake it gently.
Gently. Yeah, it's going to shake it gently. You hear again some coins rustling inside, and you also kind of hear a little bit of a clink of glass with inside. So best maybe not to shake it too hard.
Don't shake it too hard.
Raven, would you like to open this one, see what's inside, and then close it back up so I have deniability?
I'm not sure that right now is the time for curiosity. Maybe we can just deliver the package and you can open it there, or she can open it there, I think.
We're
Is
too
this
sounds
one-
like fun.
You know,
Is this
I don't
one
like
sealed?
to know
They
what's
kind of
inside.
worked that out of you in the seminary.
Is this one sealed as well, like the other one was?
Yes, it's sealed as well.
That's not a problem.
No, I realize that. But, no,
I mean,
that is
I have
expensive.
I have a forgery kit. I should be able to redo the seals. Like,
I mean, if you want to, I knew you were concerned with the last one.
Or, and I think this is probably just a wild suggestion, we actually give the gift to the person intended.
We're going to do that as well. These are not either or options. These are yes and options.
Just remind me if I ever do get a gift from any of you.
That we've made sure it's safe for you.
Yes, you have. Thank you so
mean,
much. I know it'll be the most safe gift I've ever received.
honestly, I wanted to check out the first one because we had no idea what's in it, and I was afraid, this could be a way to set us up. But I think after the first gift, we probably don't need to pre-open.
That's fine by me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So y'all are in Settlers Hill right now, and the Brass Rose Cabaret is in Midtown, not a few blocks away from the Pendulum Club. So I could probably. So it only takes you a little while to either take the train down and over, or walk over that way, or if you want to flag a. You do have Hans, but Hans is pretty much like, let's just leave the truck here and you all can scurry about to the different places. It's just prime location for it.
Surely you are all right with taking a car service for these kinds of things, right? It just, we arrive with a certain amount of,
I don't know. I like walking, taking in the scene, seeing if we see anything along the way.
Good walk would do us good.
That sounds wonderful.
I'm sorry Quinn isn't here to carry you.
Hans looks at you. He's like, "I'm not carrying you."
All right. Well, I think it's it's down this way.
Yeah. So if you go down the few blocks, you see it. It is lavish. It's lots of brass, lots of color, metallic color, because there is no color in this world. But everything that's kind of going, it makes the most use of being one of the more premier places for entertainment, both above and below board, as far as things go. It's probably one of the older establishments within the city, and it is Madame Rose is well known, especially within the Brass Consortium. So you are aware of them. You may have even maybe passively interacted with them, but since I know Reggie tends to play some of the lesser upper places. It's not been perhaps particularly a place that you've played already, though. I mean I don't know your aspirations. Perhaps someday, but
Not at this point, but maybe someday. But no, I figured I wouldn't be super familiar. I'm sure I've heard of Madame Rose, but
yes, she's well known within the consortium. So as you approach, there is, of course, the front where you could knock, and there's also the back area where all the talent and everything enter. So your options are there for.
Normally I would go in the service entrance because nobody's going to question me. But I don't know, Ignatius or Ferenc. Should we do?
You have an entourage.
Yeah. Should we make more of a presence since this is supposed to be a prestigious thing?
I mean, certainly, We can walk in the front. I think that would be perfectly fine and allow them to know that we're coming and that we're presenting ourselves in this sort of way rather than kind of coming into the service entrance. Though, I mean, if it's, I mean, this is your arena.
I mean, not
I
this
myself
way.
have only ever come in the front door here.
No, this is not. I don't play here, but
Ah.
we'll try the front, and if not, we can use the back.
Ignatus has never been able to get in through the front here, so this should be a new experience for him.
I haven't wandered off, but I'm actually looking at everything, just trying to take everything in, and just looking at like the structure of it, and just kind of marveling at it because I've never even seen any place like this. I mean, how old is the establishment's pretty old?
Pretty old, but been refurbished many times over. So think like the Moulin Rouge. So
okay,
that's the
So I may have like seen something when I was a kid, but not like a show. Just kind of walk past.
Walking by. Yeah. No, it's in a predominant area of Midtown. So it's I mean it does a very good job of being right out in the open, but a lot of things happen here that are under the noses of people that aren't aware. So
yeah, I'm just kind of like not looking at whatever is going on there. I'm just kind of caught up in this.
Yeah, cars honking by you, like as you maybe step back almost into the street, and in awe of the marvel of the architecture. It is quite impressive, right? It definitely draws your eye. It is most of the buildings are of that modern deco kind of style, right? So everything is very structured and lined and cut or whatever, and then there's this gaudy get out building, but that draws everyone's attention. It's definitely flying in the face of the more conservative, richer area that's here, right? But somehow, like many things in Shadow City and Soretta, it fits in because there's just an acceptance of that there's a need for these kind of things for people within the city in order to deal with everything else that's going on in the world. So front entrance, you like to approach?
We'll just go in the main entrance. Reggie will pull out her compact and try to like powder up, unbutton a button, and then like pull up her sleeve so her brass prosthetic is a little bit more noticeable.
Yeah. As you approach, there's a door person, but they recognize with you up front. They recognize you, and they just kind of say, I don't think you're on the list for performers today. And obviously, like how can we help you?
I wanted to get some inspiration. This is such a prestigious house. And then 2, I've got a gift for Madame Rose if she'll see us.
A gift? Well, Madame Rose likes gifts. So you were off to a great start, but I feel like there's very few people in the city who probably don't like a gift. Well, and he looks over at Perrin and he goes, well, there's some probably aren't into the gifts, but please come in, step over to the bar, and I'll make sure that one of the other attendees makes Madame Rose aware that you are here. Who can I say is the gift from?
From Esten Skye.
Esten Skye. They look confused as if they don't recognize. Well, I'll pass it on, and they take you over to the bar area, which again, lots of brass, lots of metallic shine. There's crystals, lights shining. You look around. It's basically like the Moulin Rouge, just big open theater area with lots of like workings and scaffolding, but all for basically putting on shows. You see lots of wires and ropes and so forth for more elaborate acts that probably happen. And there's people on the stage practicing in their designated quarters. Nobody has there's no singular person on the stage just practicing. Everybody's kind of marked out their space to do whatever they need to do to practice because you know that the shows here are of the highest quality. And, rumor has it Madame Rose takes this very seriously as a thing. The attendant comes and says that Madame Rose would be delighted to meet the bearer of Esten Skye's gifts, and they lead you up into basically is the back of the house, sort of, but then takes you behind the everything through some corridors that you didn't even kind of notice that were there. Lots of for the infiltrators, you're like, this is very well designed for whomever needs to move around the building to get to it. It leads you to an office which has a overlook of the theater from above, and behind a very beautiful, well carved, but nice little indentures of the metal and again jewels that don't quite have color but still sparkle, is a shapely woman with very like the finest brass prosthetics you've ever seen, head to toe, and hair is immaculate, though questionable if it's natural. It's colored in different metallics, so it's a mix of brass and gold and silver in the hair. Obviously, very expensive. The amount of turnstone that would be used to produce that, and they're standing with their back to you. But as they turn, you see that their face is completely covered by a brass mask. And if you look, you could see that underneath the mask, the neck area isn't actually covered in any kind of metal or protections, and it's not using any of the fake skin that can be used to cover it. But there are obvious like burn or scarring on the neck area, but it's very, very minuscule, but noticeable enough. It's there, and it's presented in a way as if to be seen, even though it's very subtle. And they turn very, very precisely, and they have a long cigarette, but in one of the little smoking pipes. And they turn and they go, so you're Esten's delivery service.
We are.
Reggie, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It is. I must say, it's my pleasure. I have heard good things about your work. I'm hoping perhaps someday you'll grace our stage.
I think I've got a bit of growth to do before I do that, but I do appreciate that.
Yes, all in due time. So, what brings you? I hear you have a gift.
We do. We're all here on behalf of Esten. This is Raven and Perrin and Ferenc and Ignatus. And we've brought you this.
I see. She puts down the cigarette into a little ashtray to the side and takes the box and looks at it and studies it for a little bit. Eyes it. Looks at the crests. Bold of you. She cracks it open, and inside she pulls out, like, once you see it open, she kind of opens it in a way not to hide it from you all, but for you to see it as well. And you see that it's a velvet lined case, and it has a number of small perfume bottles. And she opens them up and takes a whiff, and she's like, Chicago. I see. He's being nostalgic. And then you see that she pulls out a coin. Again, very similar to the one that you saw was given to the Rat King. It's a golden marker with the House of Skye on one side, and then an M, an embellished M on the other. And then the other two coins that they pull out are brass coins, and they have the symbol of the brass consortium on one side, and the other side is a rose. And there are two of those. And she takes them, looks at them, and goes, I suppose. And you see her walk over to a small painting and opens it up and unlocks a safe within, and then takes out a box, and you see them open up the box, and there are a number of different colored markers within. And she drops two into an area that are obviously a collection of theirs, those similar coins. And then she takes the one and she plops it into a mix of others and shuts it and goes in and goes, what was it that Esten wanted?
Any of you, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but he wants to throw a party, and he has fond memories of your times together and would like you to perform, I believe. Is that correct?
I haven't performed in years, but perhaps he just wishes the services of my performers to come in. As he's throwing a party, of course. That makes sense. I see. Do you know when this soiree would be happening?
I don't. I think we have some time. There's a bit of preparation that needs to be done. But I can certainly keep you abreast of any updates.
I see. Well, then, tell the Marquis that I accept the game and I look forward to having him within the city again. And should he wish to have performances, perhaps he needs to do a little bit more work to persuade me. But this is a good start.
I'll be glad to pass that along. Thank you so much for seeing us. And
yes.
then,
and you're all welcome to come see performances. Perhaps maybe pick out a few that you would like to attend the soiree to perform. We have different performances every night. So again, you're all welcome. If you're Skye family, the Skye family is always welcome in the Brass Rose Cabaret.
thank you so much. And as everybody else is leaving, I will just go back to her very quietly and let her know that if you need help winning this game, please let me know.
Oh. What you assume is a smile between what you can see from behind the mask. But the eyes definitely perk up a bit with that.
All right.
Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And they go back to smoking their cigarette and walk over back to the window to basically watch over the performers that are there. If anybody wants to do any kind of insight checks or anything else, or have any questions about the...
Now that I've seen two of these coins, and I'm a gambler and all that, do I know anything about what this game possibly is?
Why don't you roll history for me? Anybody can roll history if you're curious or thinking about it. Now you've seen a few. Whoop. All right, that is a 21. That's a pretty good history roll considering, and a 10. All right, still good. Yeah. So you've heard historically there used to be markers that were used by the Cult of Tenebris. This is kind of like a known thing. The show that one was a member and for safe passage around the world. That's known for anybody with a 10 or higher. So you would know that too, Reggie. Over time, get another roll there. Frank, you kind of know that, but it's like maybe there's a thing, and then
I don't.
Yeah.
Ignaz, you're like, coins are cool. You know that there are stores within the city, shops that will trade coins and buy them from you, and you could probably make some money off selling the coins. Because again, all these coins are noticeably like they use turnstone and have used alchemy to produce the color that you're seeing from the metals, right? So these are not like just basic coins that you use for regular everyday, right? So there's something significant about that. So everyone's aware of that. Like these would have value, regardless. And then Reggie, yeah, you've with a 10, you're able to know that, and then you know that as well. You know that also though throughout the world, at times it's amongst the elite. There's rumors of people minting their own coins as favor coins, also known as markers. And it takes a lot of money to produce these. And the originals, again, are based off of the coins that the Cult of Tenebris used to use. But those are very old and patinaed, and they exist, again, as just a representation. They're not individualized. These are people who have created their own minting to actually, and there's ways to, that there's particular ways to sense that they're counterfeits or not as well. During certain types of the day, noon and I think a minute, you flip the coin, it'll automatically land on a certain side. That's one way to test the coins themselves. But they're passed around as favorite coins. And it is known that that what that favor entails, nobody knows, and whether or not you can reject a use of the coins, what's involved there is not fully known. But you know that that very particular, it came about from spycraft. So it was because of all the wars that are going on. These were also ways that individuals that were involved with the war on a more espionage level traded these to basically gain favors and safe passage through parts of the world.
So just looking at these now, is this Esten calling in favors or giving away favors?
It's giving away favors.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're not being this is an assumption, but I think it's a good assumption. The fact that they're not presenting the coins and someone else is presenting the coins as a gift, they're giving away favors as opposed to calling in favors.
That's kind of what I thought. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I would like to do just a perception or an insight check just to see how much muscle she's got here. Not that I plan on doing anything with it, but it's good to know what sort of...
Yeah, you could go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. So 13, it's not horrible.
No, it's I mean, again, it's for and because you're a brass consortium, you get a little bonus on that. So all the numbers go down for you, the hit. So because it's brass consortium, looking around, this is a mix of performers, entertainers, but also a mix of everything else that exists within the brass consortium. So you have artisans here. You do have other infiltrators. You do have other individuals that are skilled in other forms of combat. You also know, looking around, that this is the brass consortium. Cell is the best way to put it. So the brass consortium, the way they're set up is they have different groups that are led by one individual, but they're not led. There's no it's not like the Court of Rats that has the Rat King, right? You have different groups that are around the city that perform different duties, and they maintain distance from each other so that they can always have deniability the activities that each one's doing. But they probably still all know what everyone's doing. It's just how they lay it out. This one is particularly is Madame Rose's cell and her base of operations for things. But it's pretty well security. It has a good number of security, and this would be like trying to get into a castle, or like, just to give you like if you were trying to get into a highly protected, high security building or whatever, it would be a fight. It would be a fight. It would be a fight that you'd almost have to bring an army to, because she basically has an army here. Looking around, you do see enough identifications of former military and folks brought in, like special services and stuff like that. So,
Cozy, would any of you do any of you want to stay and watch them practice? Do you want to go do something else?
Oh, I wouldn't mind.
We do have other deliveries to do, though.
Oh my gosh, do you think we can get backstage? I came here when I was a freshman, and I saw Ferris and the Phineas 4, and oh my gosh, it was the most amazing show I've ever seen. I am telling you, this place is awesome, and now we know who works here, and I'm excited.
I'm happy to stay and watch. I'm happy to go do our other deliveries and then get dolled up and come back and do a nice fancy night of show watching.
You got the impression that you have an open invitation here whenever you need to. So, and you do see that the people are just practicing right now. So nobody is doing. It's not a full dress rehearsal or anything like that. So everyone is.
Perrin would still be captivated because he doesn't get out much. So even seeing like behind the scenes is exciting. So yeah, I have no problem. You're right. We do need to finish the deliveries, but I think as a group thing, as a bonding thing, maybe we can come back and see something.
At least twice.
Okay.
What he said.
I won't argue with that at all. So, sure. Where to next?
As we are leaving, Raven wants to just keep a lookout for any weaknesses in the security, anything that she might be able to use later on.
Sure. Again, perception check.
Yeah.
You think that there are security issues all over the place. This place is not buttoned up as much as you would think. But then you start to question that a little bit as you look around and see, like, maybe actually it's a little bit more secure than you think it is. So with a 5, it's hard to, yeah. You got the impression from Madame Rose that she's probably of a similar discipline as yourselves. So with a wee bit more experience than you have under your belt so far. So
Understood.
all right. So I think the question left by Reggie was, where to next?
Well, I think we're going to leave and then probably go back towards the van and discuss on the way.
More walking for Franck, I'm sure.
Franck, can you handle that?
Today is worth it. I am glad that I took that walk.
His mood totally changed.
Well, look, Mrs. Winters is out in almost near the Skye estate, so we should probably wait and do that one last. I guess maybe we go see the Unionists.
Which is closer?
Does anybody have any?
Or the Curiosity Shop?
Curio Shop is closer, I think, right?
Oh,
Curious
okay.
Shop would be slightly closer. I mean, regardless, you're gonna have to double. You guys are always gonna have to double back to the truck to meet with Hans to get the next package. So
I'm sure that we could smooth things over with the union, but I don't know. I might feel a little bit more comfortable if Quinn were with us for that one.
You got the impression that it would be difficult in the sense that the guy's not happy with
Mhm.
Esten, at least last time, but not aggressive. Like
Okay.
that's that one. So
I mean, I think we're bringing a gift. I think we could, I mean, at least see if they'll let us in. We know that these are good gifts, so I think I could talk our way in if we had to.
you got Farang.
I mean, I have talked to unionists before. I mean, in general, they're reasonable people that are open for negotiations, unless it's, strike time, in which case the rules change entirely, and no, there's not a lot of talking. But right now, it is not strike time. At least I don't think so. I didn't read the paper today.
Yeah.
So the union then is what it sounds like?
Gonna go speak to Mr. Ciskin.
Mm-hmm.
I defer to you all. You all have much more experience as far as these individuals than I do.
You don't have any sort of divine inspiration.
I mean, the curio shop would be fine as well. If I don't know, does anybody have experience? with the
Raven
curio
takes
shop?
out a coin and says, "I'll flip for it."
That is
sounds
a
wonderful.
great idea.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a die 4. 1 or 2 is the curio, and 3 or 4 is the union.
All right, let's see what we got.
It's
Ooh,
a 1.
coins.
So
The curio.
curio it is. All right. That means I just prepped the entirely wrong image. All right.
Sorry.
It's all right. Y'all see you were leaning so heavy on that. I was like, it is what it is. All right. So yeah, the curio shop is not too far away. It's not in Midtown, but I mean you had to go back to Settlers Hill area anyway to get to the truck. Hans is like, where are you going next?
Curio shop?
Curio shop. Okay. And he looks at the packages and he grabs one, turns to you and hands it to you, Raven, and goes, yes, bring this to Miss Swift.
Yes, sir.
And you all head over to the curiosity shop. And
Although
the
she
thing
does lightly shake the package.
shake it a little bit. All right, all right.
You just have to.
All right, yeah. It's a box. It doesn't actually kind of make it. You do hear coins inside, but you don't hear anything kind of else move. Whatever's in there is lodged in there pretty well. Like there's something. It has heft, right? Not heft. Like it feels like there's something more than the box and some coins in there, but it feels like whatever's in there is securely in there. Yeah. All right. So you get Hans gives you directions. You all are. Everyone's kind of heard of the curiosity shop, but the location isn't really clear to you where it might actually be. And even as you're heading to where Hans told you it would be, it takes you a moment of looking around to actually spot the curiosity shop, as if it was like there one moment and then wasn't there, and then was there again. Perrin, you feel great about this.
I was gonna say I wanted to see if I could do like a perception check or anything to kind of see if I spot it.
You have you can roll a perception check, but you have you can also
Yes. I will use my my mystic sense to see if
you can do a wisdom perception check actually with your mystic sense. Yeah, I feel like.
All right.
Are you rolling like a champ again like usual? Let's see.
Yeah. Actually, it's not horrible, but
it's not horrible.
Better,
A 9. You get like a little tingly from it. There's something going on here. There's definitely residual magic in the area, if anything like that. But you can't quite pinpoint what type of magic. You would have to use detect magic if you're really. But again, there's no active magic. At the moment. So.
Okay. If I can tell roughly about where it's from, I just start heading in that direction.
Yeah, no. Again, you spot it now. Like
Okay,
you see
that's how
it.
you
You
say,
see.
okay.
Well, yeah. But again, it's like with that you get like you see there's a heavy amount of steam and smoke that's rolling through this neighborhood in this area, as obscuring a lot of things, and nobody else kind of sees it. You kind of get like a hint as if like a light purple tint kind of fades off of the smoke, but as if like from far away, not like up close from it. So
Okay, all right.
and
I'm a little bit more excited about that. Like if anybody's looking, they will see kind of Perrin perk up a little bit, and just kind of start walking a little bit faster.
Have you been here before?
Not at all.
Interesting.
You mentioned something about any type of divine prominence. Well,
Mhm.
providence. Here we are.
Oh, I don't see anything. Divine, that is.
Well,
in the window, you see lots of curious objects and things from all over the world. The knickknacks, things you would find. I mean, you've been to pawn shops or whatever, and this isn't a pawn shop. This is definitely a curiosity shop. Things that, things you may even find in a sideshow as being displayed as being the bones of something or other, hinting at things that are mystical. Perrin, you can clearly see that the majority of things that are hinted at being mystical are not mystical at all. They're simply very nicely dressed up and presented objects of no power or anything like that.
Can I do like another attempt to see if I can see if is there anything that jumps out or anything that kind of comes to
Sure, you can
a
roll
little bit more prevalent? Yeah.
Yeah, now you're closer up to the building itself.
Yeah. All right. That's
Nice.
a little better.
A little better. I wouldn't say there's any active magic inside the building itself. The only thing that does draw your attention is there is a mirror in the back of the shop that you spot that has something to it, but it's not. How do I put this? It's not on this side of the. It's not in this part of the world.
Okay, so it's like something on the other side of the mirror, not.
Maybe you're kind of confused by it.
Okay.
It's unusual. It's unusual.
Okay.
But with the 22, you pick it up. It's light, and honestly, if you weren't actively looking and as well as you did, you probably wouldn't even notice that it was a thing.
Okay.
Because otherwise, the mirror itself is very. But you are aware that a lot of times there is use of turnstone in mirrors to kind of, at least that's the explanation people give for why sometimes they occasionally see color inside mirrors.
Okay. I'll kind of look at the mirror and examine it and see if there's any pricing or anything.
Well, you're not inside yet. This is. I'm having you all look inside the. Yeah.
We're looking
the minute you
through
open
the
the
mirror.
door,
Okay,
the little bell, ding, 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 and everything else goes along.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I just assumed you're all kind of observing from the outside. Nobody's had the cojones yet to open the door and go inside.
I'm walking in as soon as
Okay.
as soon as I see that.
Are there any other passerbys that are the same sort of excited as Perrin about this? Or
Nobody else sees it.
Okay.
That's actually something. So you're watching for people to see what they're walking by as if it's not even like nobody else is looking in the windows at all. They're all just passing by as if it's not even there. Well, it's there, but they're not paying attention to it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's not drawing them in like it seems to be drawing Perrin or you even being able to, you're noticing it there. Again, it was almost like the moment before when you were looking for it, you didn't see it. And now it's here it is. So as you walk in the door, Perrin's like, I'm busting on in.
Not even a question.
You hear the door hits the bell and the bell makes a little bit of a ring. And you're kind of overwhelmed by a number of exotic and different smells. Any of you, all of you have been in the military at some point. So you've all traveled the world, different places. It reminds you of the food and, the incense and any perfumes or whatever, all kind of mixed in, but in a pleasant way. It's not, and honestly, it each of you kind of, I mean, you won't really, unless you're spot checking. Do you smell that cinnamon or that lavender? Like, unless you kind of say that out loud, some will be like, no, that's not what I smell at all. I smell something else entirely different. But there is a light smoke, as if incense is being burned. And there are a number of strangely, because again, clockwork is so prevalent, and the need for candles is really minimal. There are a number of candles being burned in the shop itself, all very safely and away from flammable things within the shop. As it looks like there are a number of highly flammable things within the shop itself. But there are different. Every row and every shelf is filled with something. There is no empty space within the shop, and it's almost hard for you all to navigate through. It's one of those places that is very, very tight, and you're kind of almost like side shuffling to get to the back of the shop, where you are assuming the shopkeeper
Mrs.
is.
Swift?
Yeah, and on saying that, there's wherever there was like a little bit of coming from like a side that you maybe just weren't expecting, is, hold on, let me see if I do this right. Everybody's up, all right, and is Ella Swift, who appears before you all, and she says, "Oh, customers, how unexpected. Usually this is my slow day. How?" And it's a Saturday, which seems odd to say that, because Saturday would most likely be probably one of their busiest days. But how may I be of service to you? Are you here looking for something particular? Is there something
We're actually looking for you.
Oh,
We might be
how
of service
unexpected.
to you.
Hi.
We have a gift from Esten Skye that we'd like to present to you.
I see.
And I hold out the gift.
And they take the gift and they examine it, but but not to the extent that Madame Rose did, and not even to the extent that the Rat King did. They just kind of pop the seals and open the box, but they don't open it towards you. So you do have to, if you do want to see what's inside, you do have to make a little bit of effort. I don't know if anyone is
I mean,
super.
I would make a little bit of an effort, but not overboard. That's for sure. If she wants to keep it secret, she can.
No, she doesn't keep it secret. She's just not like putting it on display like some of the others had done for you.
Ignatus will make an effort to see what's in there.
Sure.
Yeah, 100% trying
All
to
right,
see what's
fair.
in the box.
So
Yeah, same.
yeah, okay. I figured Perrin would be. Basically there's a carved obsidian, for most of you, a stick traced with silver inlays, that looks like, I mean, if you wanted to roll a history, you might be able to know the origin of where it came from, but it's very beautiful and definitely has.
I have a 14.
All right, it something like this, at least for the silver and for at least the obsidian, comes from Ravenna, the country of Ravenna.
Oh.
And then she eventually like looks at it and pulls it out, and she's like, and kind of holds it up, so give you all a better display of it. And she goes, "This is now no cheap gift. Who is this from?"
Esten Skye and the Skye family.
Skye family. Oh, Esten Skye. Didn't realize he was in the city.
He's
There had
back.
been talk of that. And then she pulls out again a golden marker with the M on one side and the Skye household symbol on the other, and then pulls out two patinaed coins, which have the symbol of the cult of Tenebris on it. And then she goes about, now that you've kind of given the gifts and kind of breaking out of a daze, she looks around at all of you, and then she looks at Raven and Ignatus and goes, "Oh, well, welcome to my shop. I've not had you here yet. It's pleasant to have you here. You're new, correct?"
Yes, ma'am.
Due to the shop, yes.
Well, but not fully invested yet.
Raven gives like the knowing nod.
Mhm.
Saying, I get what you're putting out, and yeah.
I am fully invested.
Oh, all right. Just haven't seen you around. That's all. But I don't leave the shop that often. I'm very busy with things. What is it that why the gift? What is it the Raven wants?
Well, we are going to be throwing a party, and we are just trying to reset up the House of Skye.
So he needs trade.
Yes.
Yes.
I see. Interesting. Well, he should be very well aware that even priceless gifts such as this do not necessarily buy the good graces of mine. But you all are working for him. What is the association here?
Some of us are family. And some of us are working for him.
Family. Well, that holds better. And she goes about moving the gift to somewhere else within the shop, somewhere more prominently displayed, behind the counters and everything, and goes over to the mirror that you were intrigued by, Perrin. And she looks at it for a moment, and kind of a few more moments gets lost in it, and then snaps back and says, "Sorry. Yes, tell Esten that this is a start. I have things that I need and that he may be able to provide. And perhaps we can begin a relationship. But I'm not convinced of what his intentions are." And then she walks back over to the box and pulls out the two. She holds the one coin and she says, "Fair enough." And she puts that in a pouch, which kind of clinks with some other coins. But she takes the two coins, the two patina coins, and she hands them, one to Ignatus and one to Raven. It says, "This is actually what it means to be vested." And she's like, "Use these wisely."
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can do anything for you, please let me know.
Oh, I will.
How open is she when she's handing the coins to Ignatius and
Open, like right out in the this is no like sliding it on the slide. She's having this conversation right in front of y'all. Like it wasn't like pulls them back into the back corner here.
But I mean,
Coins is so good.
how visible would the symbol on the coin be?
It's heavily patinaed, I mean,
Or
if
would
you're
I need
staring,
to check?
no, I think you. I mean, if you're looking at it, you've been watching for you see the symbol. I mean, it's familiar enough
Okay.
to you that it's a cult of Tenebris symbol.
Okay.
Now, that being said, there are a lot of people who use the cult of Tenebris symbol that aren't full on cult of Tenebris members and so forth, right? Like it's there because of the large number of immigrants within the city and so forth. There's a lot of areas outside of Vesipon that worship or practice or hold on to the practices of an older time that don't necessarily. So it's not usually, I mean it's a good assumption, but you could be in that 1% that maybe isn't actually a full on blown member of the cult of Tenebris. So
Unless they've stated that they're fully vested, but that's just a thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's not illegal to be a member of the cult of Tenebris. It's just frowned upon. And honestly, any overt activities within the city or whatever that would be like, ooh, no. But there's plenty of people who practice within. They just don't. It's frowned upon. It's like being in other countries where a particular religion is the predominant religion, and you practice the other religion. You just don't do it openly, right? Like you can practice it, and everyone's kind of like, but it's
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. It's not a matter of legality. It's more of me taking note of what just happened.
No, I just want to I want to make sure you just are clear on like kind of the world dynamics on how people view certain things. So
okay.
How you want to do it, that's all you. So and honestly, you being here, she doesn't even bat an eye at. So she's not cruel or mean or give you the stink eye or anything like that. She's just, whatever. She focuses on them. She loses focus constantly though. She does kind of like look at all of you for a little bit and then like phase and then kind of go, oh, sorry, a thing you needed. Was there anything else you needed?
Actually, yes. The mirror over there, was there a price on that?
It's priceless.
Oh, so it's not for sale?
No.
Pity. Well, if you do change your mind, I think I might know someone who'd be interested in that.
Oh, well, we could talk, but this is something that has belonged to mine for quite some time, and so it holds a special place within this home. And you realize that this is just as much their home as their business as well. Like, there's like obviously like a back room and a little area. It's probably where they sleep, and then you see a little bit of like a plate of food off to the side, like where they were probably just eating, and as if your business was your home, kind of situation. So not everything is for sale, and some things are just decoration in a sense.
Ignatus will give Perrin the stink eye for that conversation.
When she looks us over, is she doing it with the same regard that she took in the information that Esten Skye wanted to open up trade with her again?
Give me an insight check on that.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
7. I don't know cult stuff.
No, no, but this isn't cult stuff. This is just people stuff. No, when she's looking you over, it is different. But you're not sure how. I mean, obviously, like it would. The reaction she gave when she heard it was Esten Skye wanting an open trade was just more of like not excited by it. Some of the others were excited by the fact that Esten's in town. Some people, Miss Swift does not seem to be extremely excited that Esten's in town, but she doesn't seem extremely like she's not angry about it. She's just kind of like, what a bother. And this one will probably need a little bit more convincing than the others for how the influence track will move for them. You might have to do a lot more glad handling and handing and chatting up other members of the of her association to get them to buy into the trade here. You feel like you made pretty good progress with the Rat King. He was all about the gift and the bribery. And you got the impression that Madame Rose was excited by the fact that there's a new player in town. But aside from that, this one is kind of cold as far as that goes. So
Okay.
all right. So y'all leave.
I think my questions were pretty much answered. So
All right.
Yeah,
As you
Reggie,
go on,
sorry. Reggie was looking at the shelves of all the things she could possibly pilfer, but does not at this point because it would be
there's some missing there.
counterproductive.
I'll probably track out later, like be the last one to leave, I think.
Okay.
Oh, I'm definitely the first one out.
Yeah. so Sprunk's out, Farron's last. That's fine. Yeah, and she passes the thank you all for coming by, and thank you for the gifts, and I wish you all a blessed day, and
To you as well.
and then the bell rings for the last time as Perrin shuts the door, and as you all step out and start to move down the street, and you look back upon the Curiosity Shop, it's as if you don't see it again, and strangely not where you last placed it, and you think to yourselves, did we already go too many blocks away, or that's strange. And before we move on to the next part of the Esten's delivery service today, we're going to take a short 5-minute break. So we'll see everybody in 5 minutes. How about better with the mic off? All right, and we're back. So thank you everybody for giving us a little intermission there. And so as you step down the streets and you head back to Hans, and Hans is ready for wherever you would like to go next. So who are we delivering to next?
Guess it's going to be the Union?
I think so. I think the Iron Union. Does anybody know anybody there?
Nope.
No, but you said you're real good at talking to union people, right?
We'll see how it goes.
Well, we're offering a gift. We're not trying to break up a strike or anything, so I'm hoping that things should be better.
Yeah, but I think Esten rubbed this person wrong more than any of the others.
Hopefully this gift is an attempted recompense for them. Hopefully.
So far, the deliveries have gone well. They've been welcome. So, at least bearing a gift, we should not be kicked out like I usually am.
Hans just hands you another box. He's like, I don't know the history behind this. Esten knows better. Perhaps it won't be hard.
And Ignatius, you haven't been kicked out of anywhere today.
That's because I'm with you.
Well, Hans goes, it's because being a member of the House of Skye opens doors.
I'll take the box.
Yeah, he hands you the box.
Yeah. Is it the same size? I mean, shake it a little. Does it seem like it have more coins in it?
All the baking.
No, it feels like this one feels like it's there's a box inside of a box again. And then you do hear the clinking of coins with inside the
Yeah, do we know where we're going?
Hans goes, the union boss's office is in Midtown, not too far from here. And he gives you an address. And you're like, all right, I guess it's less of a walk for you, Frank, than some of the other ones have been so far.
Oh
so,
yeah, no, I walk Midtown all the time. There's a nice coffee shop over here if anyone wants to stop for a cup. But I think probably we should.
The Divines gave you legs, and now it would be a sin not to use them.
There we are.
I'd hardly be able to tell you don't do a lot of walking.
I like riding horses, driving in cars.
I mean, who doesn't
Here
like
we go. Let's go.
riding? Okay.
So y'all head to the union building. It is has the union symbol on the outside. It's quite imposing. It's a Saturday though, but there is still staff there within the building itself. You don't see a lot of people going in and out, but there is a reception desk on the bottom floor as you enter the building itself. Assuming you enter the building and don't try to covertly enter from somewhere else and sneak into his office. So,
oh, I totally forgot. Hey, did anybody remember this guy's name? Shoot. Okay.
I believe his name was Ciskin.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, Perrin coming through with the save.
I just remember that Esten slept with one of his wives. That's all I.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I thought it was ex-wife.
neither is probably
Let's not bring it up.
The question is whether it was X before or after Esten slept with her.
The questions we do not need answered today.
I may ask him some questions myself, but that's neither here nor there.
We'll approach the front desk.
And at the front desk, there's a receptionist, and they're Yes. Hello. How can we help you today?
We are representatives of the House of Skye, and we're here to see Mr. Ciskin, please.
Yes. Skye, you say, and looks down his notes. Oh, Skye, you say.
That's correct, Skye.
Is
S-K-Y-E.
Esten Skye with you?
No,
looks-
but we
looks-
come bearing gifts from him.
I see. Please wait over there. I need to buzz Mr. Ciskin and see if he's available. He has a very busy day. So let me
sure.
see. When is? And he kind of looks at you all until you step away from the. And as soon as you step away, he immediately calls, and you see him chattering. And this is no, yes. Oh, okay.
Can I get
all
some
right.
perception on that?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, roll perception.
Yeah, Ignatius is like looking around to see if any
That's a 16.
activity picked up as well.
Yes, outside there's tons of stuff going on outside. There's a bunch of pigeons fighting over a piece of bread. It seems on the outside there that seems to have caught your attention. Meanwhile, Frank, you're able to hear the words of, "Yes, sir. No, Esten's not here. They look," and he looks them over. Most of them look suitable for attendance. Yes. Yes. Okay. We'll send them up. And then he hangs up. He's like, Mr. Ciskin says he has some time to speak with you all. So if you and then it's and he points to the elevators, and it's like, elevators, it's the top floor.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Have a good day and good luck.
We head to the elevators.
I didn't think we were going to get in.
I didn't either. I thought I was going to have to put on some smooth moves.
And you get into the elevators. One of the nicer elevators you've been in, and it's very well maintained by the union, and it's been modernized quite a good bit. So you don't hit some of the buildings again have elevators and have the clockwork mechanical elevators working, and there's always a little scare whether you're gonna. But this is a very tall building and a very very well maintained one. So you get up to the floor, and the elevator actually opens up straight into the basically there's just a little bit of a waiting room, but then it's just the office in front of you, and before you is not her, is this man standing before you by his desk, and the room itself is heavily decorated. The walls are covered in either newspaper clippings of what seem to be achievements of the union. Behind his desk is lots of photographs next to medals, and usually it's an individual basically giving the medal to the gentleman, and it's from over the years. So you see the young Ciskin with no prosthetics to the older Ciskin with many prosthetics, always getting a new award for with his upgrades as you see them. One of the walls to the right, though, is very impressive. It's an iron plate on the wall with many names carved, like basically etched into to that plate. And he has the Vesipon flag around the room quite a bit as well. So, how can I help you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris Ridgie. Sorry.
No, I was just wondering if he had any muscle in the room or outside the room.
No, he does not.
Okay.
I was kind of glancing at the people who are giving the pictures, people who are giving him awards, see if
Sure.
there's anybody notable or anybody that I recognize that I would
Very
recognize.
notable. Actually, in most of the photos, he's being given the award by the autarch.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
And the autarch, they're black and white photos. It's very visible from the religious wear and the mask of the autarch. So the leader of Vesipon is giving, and you look at the awards, and again, most of you all of you have been in the military. You recognize that they're all high level medals of honor, and so forth. So this is if anybody wants to roll history, to now seeing this or whatever, you might be able to pull a little bit more information about.
I will do so.
That's a 24.
I have an 11.
That's
18.
A nat 20 for me.
And 18.
Yeah, well, sadly, it's not combat because nat 20s don't mean anything different for skill checks.
I mean, I historied it.
But you did history it, so nonetheless.
Yeah.
So let's see where we're at. Even at a 5. So he's at a base level. Everybody knows that Ciskin is a decorated war veteran and served many tours of duty within the for Vesipon and many of the different wars. He's been pretty much all over the world and has led. So he's known for having taken a lot of risks for his soldiers, and is highly respected by the individuals who served under him. He basically was POW at different times, but actually led escapes from POW camps, and it is known, is fairly well recognized, though. It's been quite a few years since he served. He moved from basically going to service to then being put in charge of the Union. His position within the Union was a little bit, at first, controversial because he didn't start at the lowest ends of the Union. He kind of was just kind of placed within the Union by the government. But again, even amongst the Union members, he's well respected and has fought very hard for their rights and protections and so forth. He was never a general though, and he didn't serve in the Navy. He served in the Army. And you do know that it's again Farang for getting your fairly decent role. There may be some things that come up during the conversation that, but the thing that you recognize, the Farang you recognize about the wall, is those are all people like who served with him who died, and he keeps a memory of them on that wall. So it's a wall dedicated to the people who served under him. And yeah. Anything else? So, how can I help you?
Mr. Ciskin, thank you so much for seeing us on such short notice and on a weekend as well, and for inviting us into your beautiful building.
Of course, work's got to get done. So, what does Esten want?
Specifically to offer you this gift and an invitation. My friend Ignatus here will hand you the gift.
I'll give him the gift.
So Esten's not here, huh? Couldn't make the time? Couldn't even say hello to an old friend?
He's extremely busy trying to get the house back in order. He doesn't have the same level of expertise, I think, at maintaining a house as you do.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that work order somewhere over here, and he goes over to one of his trash cans and he picks it up. He's like, "Yeah, here it is," and he puts it back into the trash can. He's like, "So a gift, huh?" He thinks that'll smooth everything over.
He hopes it'll be a start.
He's like, "I don't like it. Don't like it at all." He goes over. He opens the box. He's like, nah. And then he pulls out another box. And unlike the Rat King, who had the dented cigar box, it was very particular. It's another cigar box, but this one is a mahogany box, and it looks like to be a fine imported cigars from Malaysia, right? So, and and even as he opens it, it carries this musky, resinous flavor. And with you see the jungle leaves kind of wrapped around the cigars themselves. And he goes, well, I'll give him credit. Man still got class, and he knows how to get stuff. So very appreciated. And he just goes ahead and like cracks one out, takes his cigar cutter, and then with a punch, and then like gives it a light, and he's just like, this is good stuff. I'm telling you, man knows his cigars. So and he looks at the coins, and he kind of is like, all right, I see what you're doing here, Esten. And he picks up 2 more, and you see that they're iron coins with the Iron Union symbol on it. These are more generic, though. These are not like they have the Iron Union, but they don't have another like engraving on it, so it's not specific to Ciskin. At least you don't think so. And he fumbles a little bit with his, and you notice that like his prosthetics are all like a little oversized. Like he's a short, like Danny DeVito size kind of guy, but his hand like kind of this like he's got like little oversized iron prosthetics, but they're still really good iron prosthetics. It feels like he does it on purpose almost. You're not kind of sure what type of prosthetics they are, because they're definitely more than just your generic hands and legs. But he's got to say he's not quite Hans level, right? But he does have like, again, the metal and reconstruction on his neck and so forth. And pulling from your history, like at one point in time, like Ciskin, took some injuries protecting his squad and everything like that. So a lot of times, most of the injuries he incurred were because of doing things very heroically and putting his life at risk. But nowadays you see him, he moves a little bit slower, and it's not the prosthetics. I think it's just he just in his mind kind of moves a little slower. It's not because the prosthetics are shoddy or anything like that. It's probably definitely more of a mental state of mind thing than anything else. So I guess Esten wants some help rebuilding that house, huh?
I don't think that we could possibly do it without your help.
I'm glad you recognize that. Well, he's got anything planned for that place, or is there like a time frame we're looking at?
Well, to start with, he wants to have a soiree, a bit of a party, and he would like you to attend.
Oh, I like that. I was going to ask if I'm invited, because if I'm invited, amazingly enough, things could get moving a little bit faster.
I believe that you and he are seeing eye to eye on this particular fact.
Yeah, he's a little bit taller than me, but I appreciate that. But yeah, no. Let's see. I could probably get a team working on that sooner than later. Just tell Esten, like, I'm sad that he didn't come see me. I knew he was in town. One of my peoples was supposed to go visit him last night. Actually, is she not around?
Oh, I'm not sure I know who you're talking about.
Nika Wren, one of my peoples. She came to me, mentioned she had gotten an invite to go visit Esten, so I assumed she'd be with y'all.
No, she didn't show up while we were there.
Oh, that's curious. She's very prompt. Huh.
It could be that we were just ships passing in the night. It was a very brief encounter that we had before being set out upon these tasks of the day.
See. All right. Well, keep an eye out for her. She's a good one.
Nika Wren, you say?
Yeah, Nika Wren.
We'll certainly do so. Well, thank you again for your time and your courtesy and your willingness to assist the Skye family in the rebuilding of the estate.
we'll get moving. Things can move a little bit faster if Esten does a few more things for me, though. You know.
Anything
Understood.
in particular?
I'll think of some stuff. I'll send him some reverse work orders. How about that? That's
Once a cigar, the smoke hits Baron, he can't hold back, and he just starts coughing.
it's like you never smoked one of these. It's like
No, we don't have a lot of those at the church housing.
oh yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. It's all right. This is your office, and we thank you for your hospitality.
Insight. Is he as unbothered as he's letting on?
Roll insight. But that's fair. He's not bothered. If anything, he's not bothered. I know what you're looking for to see if like he's anger or whatever. He's not. He seemed to be truthful that he's more bothered the fact that Esten didn't come himself. That's really it. He's more insulted the fact that it wasn't Esten that came to come talk to him, that he sent a bunch of stooges.
Hey, now.
If he said it out loud, he said stooges. That's really it. It's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly it's just like, I mean, I look forward to going to the party. But I would have liked to have talked to Esten himself. Tell him to not be a stranger,
I will pass along the message happily.
And he goes and he pours himself a drink, and he's like, what do we say? Working hours, right? And then he just takes a sip. He's just like, work's got to get done. Not everybody likes to work the weekends, but I don't like having too much time on my hands. Brings back too many. I get in my head. I don't like that. So
Ignatius kind of glances at the work order that's in the trash still, he assumes.
He goes over. At some point he picks it up, and he presses it between his and quite efficiently, like flattens out the wrinkled up paper between the two iron prosthetic hands that press it across, and then puts it on the top of the to-do list. He's like, just make sure Esten knows that this isn't going to be cheap. These things, cost.
Well,
y'all looking for work? It's like at this point, he's just like, y'all need to be.
Nope. At this point, I believe that we have concluded our business, and I wish you a pleasant evening, and look forward to seeing you at the soiree.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the soiree. I haven't been out to that Esten place, the Skye estate, in quite some time. His sister used to throw a good party, so. Yeah.
Hopefully this one will be as good.
Hopefully, if he's got more of these cigars, I tell you, that's it's a good start. It's a good start. I got a list of things that I remember from all the places before that Esten could be imported into the city. So hopefully he still has those contacts he used to have.
We'll let him know that.
Well, y'all have a great Saturday afternoon. So
We'll shuffle on out.
all right. Shuffle. The on shuffling out, you do make it to out the door into the elevator. You get down. When you get down, you do notice that there are two enforcers. You would assume very large. Anyone who's ever seen the union knows that basically whenever there are any issues or strikes or things like that, these are the folks that tend to show up to take care of business. They're there. They're not like looking for you or whatever. They were just kind of like, they're waiting by the reception desk, I guess, in case there was a call. So otherwise the pleasantries are there, and then the receptionist goes, well, all have a great day and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Thank you for your help.
Oh well. Think the big man upstairs. That's it. You know. And he looks at you. He's like, not that one though. And then
I would not assume.
yeah. And then he goes back to what looks to be a very boring job on a Saturday of being a receptionist of the union building, who tend to work very strict union hours. It's just, again, seems like Ciskin likes to keep busy. So you head back to Hans. Hans suggests that if you perhaps before going back to Silverwood, because the only one left to speak with is Mrs. Winters. You may want, not Winters though, Winters. Sorry, I don't want to get y'all thinking about chicken. It suggests if there's any kind of business you would like to take care of, so you could do like a downtime here if you wanted to do any glad handing, kind of going around, maybe working on some of the folks that you just talked to try and like build some more influence. You could do that now if you wanted to. There's really, like, again, during downtime, so you could build craft things, but you guys don't really have anything to craft at this point. So in a day, normally you do your work business, then there's like a downtime period you could possibly do, and then usually you could do a little mystery in. But unless you wanted to do something else before you go into the city. So there were also potentially looking into the folks who did not make it to the party. They would be somewhere within the city as well, but you don't know a whole lot on that. So
I would glad handle with my cult contacts just to see if I can talk up Skye a little bit.
All right. Before I have you do that roll, is it anybody else have anything particular?
Perrin is a little. How far away are we from the curio shop?
Well, hypothetically,
yeah. Well, I mean, like, is it?
Hypothetically, you're not far at all. You're as far as you thought you walked last time. It was
Okay.
Now on the other hand, is the curio shop there? That's a good question.
Well, I mean I wouldn't mind trying to return to the curio shop to just kind of see some of the things that are in the store.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
If it's if it's still open. I don't know how late it is, so
it's midday. So you cover.
Okay,
it's midday. Remember, you started pretty early in the morning, right? So you went to the Rat King. You killed a couple hours there. Then you moved over to the Curiosity Shop, right? Yeah, and then you went to the Cabaret.
Yeah,
and then you went to the Curiosity Shop, and now you did this. So it's early afternoon. Like, you have some time you could kill to go do some stuff before you would visit Winters and kind of probably end the day. If you were going to try and fit that all into the day.
Perrin kind of wants to go back to the curio shop, but he doesn't necessarily want to go back with the group if we're kind of breaking from each other.
Yeah, everyone would probably be breaking up for a little bit.
Okay, so I kind of want to like see if I can slink back down there.
Okay, sure. All right, so that's what you'll be doing. What about Frank? Anything Frank wants to do? Want to go bet on the ponies or something? Or actually,
I mean, Frank is over himself with a automatic invite to the club, and probably would go call up his best friend, the travel agent, and be like, "You will not believe what just happened today."
So you're gonna go back to the Cabaret?
Not going to go back to the Cabaret, but like go talk to my my close friend and be like,
okay, because I would say you could get them in there, and then you could talk to other Brass Consortium people to improve the influence track on the with the Brass Consortium there.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Reggie,
I don't know if I want to be around Frank with all of this fawning on S Consortium. I might, if it's okay, go back to Queenie's, see if I can get a
To the rat's nest.
the rat's nest.
AKA used to be known as Queen's.
The rat's nest. Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right.
There were some brass consortium people playing there.
Sure.
Just
Mhm.
see if I could drum up some business with them to fill in for them to work on some personal goals.
Okay. Oh yeah. The for the fighting and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that works 100%. And then Ignatus.
Ignatus is curious about Nika Ren
Mm-hmm.
and wants to kind of start looking around and find out if he can find out what happened to her.
Okay. Yeah. You at least maybe get a location of where they live and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So I'll let you do some investigation on that and do some rolls. So I'll just kind of circle back around real fast. All right. Start with Raven though. Remind me again, Raven, what you were doing.
I'm trying to drum up some support from the cult.
The cult, that's right. Okay. So you can roll. You roll one of each of persuasion, intimidation, and deception. However, you can substitute one of those rolls with a wisdom insight check instead.
So I'm sorry. What were the choices?
Persuasion, intimidation, and deception.
All right. So I'll do deception first because that 23.
Yeah, that works.
And then
Okay, that wasn't a natural 20. That was just normal. Okay, yeah.
Yep. And then perception, wisdom.
Wisdom, insight. Okay, so persuasion, intimidation, or deception. You did deception. So now you have persuasion or intimidation, or you can substitute one of those for wisdom, insight.
Let's do persuasion next.
Okay.
Can I replace
that does not quite work. So
can I replace that with a 20, please?
Oh, you could, yeah, because you have your and that would be a natural 20. So yes, that works great. So signs of portents, special ability of the Cult of Tenebris.
And what was the last one?
So what did you just roll? There was persuasion. So you have intimidation, or you can swap it out for insight.
So insight, wisdom. I think intimidation will be better for me.
Okay.
And that did not work.
No, but that's still fine. So you have go ahead and roll 3d6 for me. You get 1d6 for the regular success and a 2d6 for the natural 20. So 3d6 for me.
6, 2,
okay.
and 2.
All right. So we're adding that to influencing the. So you've been able to talk to enough folks of the Cult of Tenebris around town to influence the their feelings towards. Assuming that was you were applying it towards Esten.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So 10 points. 10 more points go towards it's a 50-point influence project. Actually, I can pull it up. Why don't I do that? Show a little bit of what's out there. And so you have this neat little track here, and you just add 10 points to it. There's actually more points because for the coin you get 10, and then I'll have you all do another roll later that for the interaction with Swift. So but you're making progress on there. So you're a minimum of 20, probably a little bit more along the line there. So all right, great job, Raven. Perrin, checking out so I need you to probably do either investigation or perception, or you could do. Well, no, it'll still be perception. So
yeah, I can do perception.
Okay.
That is a 24.
That's pretty good. So you're able to spot the shop again, and take a look around inside. So the bell rings again. But nobody like, I mean, you're kind of free to roam. Nobody comes out of nowhere or whatever at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to look for is it Ellen or Ellis? Ellis.
Ellis.
I do
Yeah.
want to look for Ellis.
Mhm.
But if I can't, I'm gonna be looking more around the store to kind of see some of the other items that are there. See if there's I'll probably be more specifically looking for items that have that type of coloration, I guess, is more the term, but something that kind of pops out to me. And I can use the I can use my mystic sense, or if it warrants it, I may even attempt to detect magic.
Sure. So you're just looking around for
I'm just trying to see if there's anything that
nothing
jumps out at me.
Nothing actively magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Barring that, I look around to see if I see any more of the symbols of the cult.
Oh, all over the place.
Okay. So that's just like, this is a cult. This is a cult place. This is a cult shop.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
there's like it's all over the place. Like it, and because you're decent perception roll, like
Oh,
Due to technical difficulties,
You went the way of the
Yes.
curio shop,
has popped off for a second.
just like the curio shop.
don't hit that button. Tricky mouse with his extra buttons on the side that I clonked against and took me back a second.
That's how they get you.
Spooky. No, so the curiosity shop, no, in fact, with the perception roll sheet, like literally, like you see it, like not even like there's like overtly just all over, but they're also like all subtle all over the place, right? Like there's like like if you look at the rugs and the way like things are laid out, you actually realize like all of it has purpose within the shop, like little labyrinthian layouts and everything like that. So
Okay.
and there's clearly images of the dark goddess in different shapes and forms from all over the world. In fact, until now you weren't even that familiar with like some of you're like, oh, today I learned that there's like a lot of different, like you've never seen it. Like this is like a hard lesson for you, like of like, oh, there are many symbols and things for eventually, like even the ones that you picked out right away, you're like, I bet that's one too. I did not know that. Like so it's there's that. So
Okay.
yeah.
And well, since Ellis is not here,
Ellis pops out at some point in time when you're looking at
Okay,
it. So,
okay.
yeah. Again, out of like the corner of the eye, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, I tried to flag her down. Excuse me. Ellis, is it?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Baron Kastai. I was here earlier with the group for who were giving the gift for Esten Skye.
Were you?
Yes. Yeah. I was. I was the one who asked about the mirror in the back.
What mirror?
The mirror that you had looked into before we left.
And you look back over where you thought the mirror was before, and it's not there. In fact, now you're thinking about it and looking around, the layout of the shop is quite different than it was the time that you were there before.
Huh.
But you're not 100% positive if that was just now or when you walked in.
Okay. And you said there was nothing actively magical that I could perceive.
At the time that you were looking at, there was nothing actively magically going on then.
Okay. Maybe I'll do another perception check and
Sure.
see if that's changed any. That'd be a 14.
14. A residual. Like,
Okay.
yeah. There was something that had been happening, but it is not active now. So.
Okay. Well, I kind of keep glancing over at the area where I was getting that, but in the times like at any rate, I was just fascinated with a lot of the items that you had in your store. I don't see much of them. And I was wondering if you could talk to me about some of their origins, or
well, sure, they come from all over the world, and some of them are from Vesipon of old. And she starts to walk around the shop and point out different items and tells you their origins and how old they are and how the practices have, been kept but changed over the years. And after a little bit, give me a perception check again.
Sure. B21.
So you start to realize she's walking you in a like maze-like pattern. And you know that mazes are one of the symbols of the cult of Tenebris, and a meditative practice. At least you've heard that they use for in their ways. Though their ways are very obscure to you and whatever. But she's doing this very calmly, but it also looks like very intended to.
Once I kind of realized that I'm going around in circles, I excuse myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Looking at the time, I probably should go on and meet back up with my companions.
Oh, of course. But it's no bother at all. Thank you for joining us.
You have a lovely store, and I do appreciate your hospitality.
Please come back. And she pulls out a card of the store and hands it to you.
Oh, is there a lichen symbol on the card itself?
Oh yeah,
of course. Yeah. Okay, so I look at it and I go, "Thank you. I can assure you that I will certainly be back."
I look forward to it.
And I put the card in like a pocket and head out of the store. And before I do, I kind of look back at the store to just kind of get a glimpse or see if I can see if there's anything else that I may have missed.
No, well, again, where you remember her placing the gift from Esten is no longer there, and it again, things have like kind of removed around, right, from where you remember them being oriented. So,
oh, the gift. Aside from it being the silver inlay and like it was like a cylinder, like a rod or something.
It was like a wand. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's pretty much the only other thing I wanted.
Yeah. Okay. Being a mystic, you realize it was probably a mystical focus of some form.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Okay. Then I bid her good day and I kind of hurry myself outside the store.
All right. Frank at the Cabaret. Yeah. It's the afternoon show. So you get in, drinks are served. You get a really nice spot, like even a spot that you've never would have gotten. Even the travel agent's quite impressed by the
Alice
spot.
Thrush. I had to look her name up. Alice Thrush.
I'm glad you did because I was gonna have to look it up too. So there we go. You basically you get the nice spot. It's everything's rock. Like you're seeing some shows you've never even seen, and even for the afternoon shows, you're quite impressed. Like they're like anywhere else in the city you wouldn't have seen anything like this. They're not the spectacle of spectacles that happen sometimes late at night, but for an afternoon show, it's pretty impressive. And there's a number of servers who come up and they all seem to. I won't say they know who you are, but they've been. It seems that they're aware of you're somebody of importance, because not just anybody gets to sit in where you're sitting. So you see that you've been placed strategically. You also realize that you are, from where you remember from being up in the office, that you are in full view of Madame Rose. So you were looking to Glenhand, like, to talk up the.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I'm
staff,
just
right?
anybody who's obviously brass consortium. I don't know. Does everybody in the brass consortium have a brass prosthetic? Is it like
No. You all have. They all have access to it. Most do, because from things from the war or so forth, this is a necessity. Others do it because sometimes they just allow them to perform better and so forth. All the prosthetics are as good as normal limbs or better, basically. And as a member of the brass consortium, they have access to the best of the best, as far as those things go. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's clear. Trust me, in this spot, unlike the Rat's Nest that actually had like a mix of brass consortium working at the Rat's Nest as servers or entertainers and so forth, with Court of Rat members, this place is not mixed. It's like there is no other faction, either non-faction or non-affiliated, or they're a member of the brass consortium. There's no muddling here of anything, unless they're like a spy. But, maybe somebody else has infiltrated the.
We'll see one trend. Yeah, no, I mean, nothing specific. Just enjoying the new perk of working for this new fancy employer.
All right.
Which is a different kind of fancy than what Farak is used to.
Yeah.
In that it's like almost Soretta royalty rather than just.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you again, your attention though is to talk up the Skye family and everything else, right? To try and improve that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just glad handing, like, thanks. Skye
So
family,
yeah,
blah,
go
blah,
ahead and
so
give me again. You had the same options for persuasion, deception, and intimidation, or insight. You could substitute one of those for.
I mean, they are all roughly equivalent, so let's just go down the line.
All right.
So let's start with the persuasion.
Okay.
And that is a 20.
But not natural, right? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But okay.
So
Yep, that works.
that'll be a 16 plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was my next option? Just insight
Intimidation, deception, or substitute one of them for insight.
Oh, deception sounds great.
All right.
That is another 20.
All right. You are having better rolls than some people. And then intimidation.
Intimidation. Oh, you know what? I'm not very intimidating.
Is insight better?
Yeah, insight is much better.
Then you can use insight instead.
All right. 15.
All right, and that hits it. All right. Okay, so you get 3d6 as well.
All right. Let's see. 3d6.
7. Okay, so we add 7 to the influence track for that one. That one's a little bit higher than the Cult of Tenebris one. The Cult of Tenebris, you only got the increase from the 1 coin. She did not accept the other 2 coin. In fact, because that's why she gave them to Ignanus and Raven. So that didn't. But for the Madame Rose, you got all 3 of the coins going towards that. So you're a little bit farther on the track for the Brass Consortium, and even further now with the 7 points.
Sweet.
So, excellent. All right. At some point in time, Madame Rose has come down and passes by the table and hopes that you all are enjoying the show, and again to pass her regards to the Marquis and let them know that she's excited to have him in the city again, and says to do make note of any of the talent that you find interesting here, so that she can put it on the list for the soiree.
Absolutely.
All right. And then she makes sure that there's another bottle of whatever you're drinking comes to the table. So yeah,
this is that gray area of work / having a good time. So
that's right. That's right. All right. So Reggie Wren.
If you enjoy what you do for work, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's right. That's 100% that. That's the truth.
Yeah. So, I want to go to the rat's nest and observe. You said there were some brass consortium who were entertaining. They're kind of
Yes.
okay. Just kind of watch what they're doing. Maybe see if I can jump in on a set. I will. We're near the car, right?
You are near the car. Yes.
Can I grab my beat up cello case and bring it with me just in case?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll do that and I'll lug it over. And I will just go in. If there's a problem, again, I will use the service entrance, but this is not me trying to be sneaky per se as so much as like, yeah.
No, you get in, but I mean, again, you haven't performed at the Rats. That maybe you have like once now, okay, but still, like nobody stops. Again, nobody stops you. The Brass Consortium that recognize you.
Yeah,
nobody tips off. I mean, again, at some point in time, somebody like if you just get up there and start playing, somebody might be like, "What f's going on?" But like,
no,
unless you join like a group that's performing, and then maybe.
No, I would kind of like stash my cello in the back somewhere. Like I want to be stealthy about it so that people don't see me. I'm all like, I'm coming in to perform. But go in and watch, and then if there's a break, just be like, I really love the music you play here. If you ever need someone to fill in.
No, they take note. Like we're always looking for people. Like it, not everybody likes the clientele and here, and they and the guy who runs this place is pretty like always wants entertainment. So for his crowd, so yeah, it pays well. So
well, I love the atmosphere here, and she'll look over to see if she can see him anywhere.
No, like from where you're at, like the interesting
back.
thing, his space is in the back overlooking the stage area, but it's actually mostly looking over the door area. Like he always catches who comes in through the front, not the service area, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But there's other people for that. He's more concerned for who's coming to speak with him or whatever. So he wouldn't expect. You get the idea that he wouldn't expect people to be coming from this side necessarily.
Sure.
But you also understand that there are people to cover that area. But when you met with him, you got the impression that he wasn't worried about anybody at all. Like, he had some movements that were similar to yours, but he also had some movements that were similar to Quinn's.
I figured. So, is Quinn there anywhere?
Quinn's not about. No.
Okay.
No.
Then I'll
I'm not going to force myself to.
Certainly.
To Quinn, so that's why Quinn's not about.
Yeah. No, I was just going to buy her a drink if she was. Buy them a drink if they were, but it's fine. So I'll just do that. My it's a little bit of a longer game. I don't know if it'll count as glad handling, but just I appreciate
it does. It does count.
I appreciate what the Court of Rats does for me and giving me an outlet. So I would like to return the favor and help give them some atmosphere. So
okay. Yeah, then go ahead again. Roll you have a persuasion, intimidation, deception, or substitute any of those for insight.
I'm going to do persuasion, deception, and insight because
sounds good. Let's make it happen.
Persuasion is 10.
That one doesn't quite do it.
Roll 20 hates me. Okay, deception.
That doesn't quite do it either, sadly.
Come on, Mama needs a new pair of shoes. Insight. No.
Oh, but again, it's not. There's no critical fail on this, so it's just this time it didn't quite come up to. But there was no negative effects for. I don't think so. Let me double check that.
I really need to remember to give encouragement.
Oh yeah, or guidance.
Well, I can. Here's the thing: I can do winning confidence, which is the guidance spell, but it only lasts for concentration up to a minute. I was going to give it to Ignatus before he went off, but then I was like, "Oh, it won't last long enough."
Won't last long enough. No. Yeah. A lot of folks have guidance, and they have other forms of inspiration for each other. So something to keep in mind for that. But that's okay. There are no negative effects for glad handling. It's just time. Is basically the downside of that.
Well, like I said, I'm willing to play the long game on this one. So
sure, and at least, but you made the conversation, and again, you might get invited to perform here. So it's definitely not a lost effort. Just no no influence movement on that
Works
guy
for me.
side. Ignatius.
Yes. First thing, he's going to go to Hans, and because presumably Hans would know where Nika Ren lived.
He says that they didn't meet them at their home. They met them at one of the offices because they're not too dissimilar to you, but on the Iron Union side of things.
Okay. In that case, he wants to go investigate and try and find out where she lived.
Sure. So he tells you the office where she was working from, or whatever, and maybe you could just scratch up something from that way.
Yeah. Well, I'll head over there.
All right, you head over that way, and the office is open, but there's not a lot of people there. So how you could ask at the desk, or I don't know what you like to do. It's all up to you.
Yeah, not my strong point, but I'll talk to people. I'll ask at the desk.
Yeah, they say, hello, how can we help you? It's we're not really taking orders, work orders or anything today, but maybe something else I can answer for you.
Yes, I'm working for Esten Skye, and he wants me to look into someone called Nika Ren. Does she work here?
She does. Not on the weekends, but she actually took some extra days off so that she could attend something. There was actually somebody else with this Sky fellow that came recently.
Oh, what did that person look like?
Describes
Hans?
both Hans and Miss Dreadmire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dreadmire. Okay. You wouldn't happen to know where if she lives nearby, do you?
I think they did. I don't have her. I mean, we take on it. It's Saturday. I'm not like I have to go to the files to look up their paperwork and everything like that. So I don't know their exact, but I don't think they're too far here. They didn't say any place super nice. They were more in I don't how do you like the nice side of Settlers Hill, which isn't so nice anymore. But I mean, it's not the East End, so I mean, this has got that going for it.
Okay. Well, let me continue. So I'm in that area of Settlers Hill. Are there like a lot of different apartment buildings? Like what's in that area?
There are a ton of different apartment buildings. Like, so you could potentially go. So I wouldn't. There's not a lot of people here. You wouldn't necessarily need to sneak. You could probably like maybe check out the offices, see if there's any paperwork or any notes or anything there, or you could ask around. Like they'd give you a general neighborhood that you could go ask around to people to see if you wanted to, as well. So,
yeah, I mean, if I can kind of get in, walk around the office and see if I can find some of that paperwork, or maybe find where her desk was.
Sure. Give me a stealth roll. Only not because there's people hard looking. I just want to see how bad you're gonna roll on this. That's really the.
Thanks for the confidence. That is an 8.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So if something else goes awry, maybe that'll have an effect. We'll see. So yeah, you find. I mean, it's not too hard. There's nameplates on the outside of the offices. You figure out which ones is Nika's. And yeah, there's it's fairly well organized. You could tell that they're very structured in how they do everything. And how would you like to?
I'd like to start searching if there's anything on the desk that's personally identifying. I don't know if there's photos or anything. I don't know if photos exist in Shadow City.
Photos do exist. They're just all black and white.
Yeah.
They're extra black and white. They're like, yeah, black and white on black and white. All right. So
and then I'm going to start
double exposed.
Looking through the desk to see if there's anything that I can find that give me a hint of.
You do see, so it does look like they're very well organized. They do have photos. You could recognize like like maybe a neighborhood, like there's a shot outside of a building or whatever. But because it looks like they probably spend a lot of time at work, you see like they also have like bills and stuff like that with their address. So they take some of their home stuff to work in order to handle that as well. So you do get an address there.
Would I think one of the photos on the desk is actually of her?
Yeah, probably.
Or-
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that photo out of the frame and memorize the address and head on over.
All right, fair enough. So you head on over to a building address and a building that looks to match the photo of the outside of the building itself. And what do you do?
Is it is this like, do they have buzzers outside the apartment building for different rooms?
They do have buzzers for the different. Yeah. So you see the address. Yeah.
And I see Ren on one of them written next
You
to
do
it.
see Ren as one of the. Yep.
I'll start with ringing that.
Okay. No, there's no answer.
Okay. Then I'll just do the whole slide your hand down and buzz everything and hope somebody buzzes you into the building.
All right, give me. I don't even know. Man, give me. Let's do the good old. Give me a 1d4. And I know what the numbers are. I'm not going to tell you which one they are.
All right.
All right, and you get somebody buzzes you in. So it buzzes you in, and basically the door is unlocked, so you're able to kind of move in if you want to.
Yep. I want to head up to her apartment.
Okay.
Not...
Well, you don't. So the apartment door is slightly ajar.
All right. Does it look like it's been kicked in?
No, it just looks like it's slightly ajar.
All right. I guess a perception check. See if I notice anything else.
Okay.
If I get a 1 again, I'm gonna be so mad. 12.
12. A 12. You notice that the door seems to be blocked slightly. Like it's like the door probably would have been more open if there wasn't something in front of it.
All right. I'm gonna pull out my arbalist
Uh-huh.
and proceed through the door.
All right. Perceiving through the door, you see that there is like a body in front of the door.
Does it match the picture?
If the picture had a picture on the back, maybe. They're
face down.
Face down, not face forward. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to get in the room and I guess use investigation to try and figure out what happened.
All right. As you enter the door, we go to black and we leave it there at this moment.
Somewhere a lawyer is cringing.
We'll pick back up into the investigation of Nika Ren.
That's investigation's my best skill. I wanted to use it.
Oh no, you'll use it. Don't worry. I just yeah. So again, so we'll pick up where that left off. See what Ignatius finds, and if he actually goes and tells anybody else what he's doing and up to, and
if he survives.
If he survives, it's true. It's true. He's all by his lonesome. All right. Before we end today's session, though, let's go around and again say goodbyes, but say who you is and where people can find you. So we'll start with Ignatius actually, since he was getting in the good.
All right.
There.
Well, I'm alive as of now. Ignatius is alive as of now. We'll see how that is next session. Yeah, I'm Matt Walsh. I can be found on most socials at Matt P. Walsh. And that's pretty much it. Everybody have a good night.
All right. And Mandy Raven.
I'm Mandy S, and I can be found here on Tuesday nights.
Awesome. And Winston Clark. Perrin.
Winston Clark. I can be found. My socials are going to be Subconscious Eye Studios or Subconscious Eye. And I have my own webcomic at the subconsciouseye.com.
Awesome. And Matthew Bell, Frank.
Yeah, Matthew Isabel. I'm Frank Turn, and yeah, this is what I got going on right now, and I am super enjoying it.
Awesome. And last but not least, Ariel Custom, Reggie Wren.
Reggie Wren, some relation to Nika, apparently. You can find me on social at Ariel Caston. Sorry, I derailed myself. At Ariel Caston, Kasten. You can also find me on my podcast, Large Nerdron Collider, at said same handle.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you again. And if you didn't catch us at the beginning, the video on demand should be coming out soon on both Twitch and YouTube, and a version of this will be up on Spotify minus the intermission. So we've heard from our folks so that you can listen to it all the way through. And check us out next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, wherever you were catching this today. All right. Thanks again, and see you next week.